Devil Sniper here, and this is episode number 5 of our career mode with West Ham United on FIFA 14. So far, we have made a couple of signings which have been fantastic. We brought in Will Hughes, who I think is going to be a great success, and we brought in Sam Byram, who I think is going to be a great success given time. So first things first, as normal, one thing that EA can't seem to get right or don't program into their game, the number 6 shirt should be retired as it's for a legend, Bobby Moore. Unfortunately, when you sign players, it dictates numbers at random, and it always seems to dictate the number 6. Now, hopefully, FIFA 14 has been updated in some small manner that it doesn't produce the number 6 shirt after saving and changing the shirt numbers. Hopefully it won't, but fingers crossed, you never know with FIFA. Anyway, we've changed that number, so that's done and dusted. So all the Hammer fans, don't panic. It was always going to get changed. I just didn't change it in the last episode. I thought EA might have some logic at some point within their lives. But moving on, the formation, some great recommendations for formations. The default formation, 4-4-2, certain ways to play it. But there was one that stuck out a little bit, and that was the 4-1-3-2. Now, I quite like the look across the balance of this formation because it essentially allows me to play with 2 people up front, which is what I want. It's what I desire. It gives me a great opportunity to not only give Big AC an opportunity, but we can give our M&M an opportunity, which is fantastic. We still get to use Jarvis, Nolan, Noble and Diame. 3 very, very important players are, for me personally, are Nolan, Noble and Diame. I think they're essential part to this team. Nolan is just a fantastic player, always in the right place at the right time. Yes, he's getting on in years, but we do have Joe Cole on the bench who will be getting minutes. And the same, we've got Ravel Morrison, etc. So we've got plenty of depth on the bench and good quality players on the bench to come in and do us a job. Even Downing might get an appearance or 3, you never know. So, moving on swiftly, budget time. We've got 100 grand. I don't need 100 grand for wages. I would prefer to have a little bit more cash at the ready to be able to make some deals happen. So 6.5 million and nearly 50k-ish on the wage, or just over 50,000 on the wages, I think is pretty much bang on. That's what we need. So, taking into consideration some of your recommendations for centre-backs, which, again, you guys blew my mind with your recommendations. You come up with such intelligent, fantastic-looking players. I looked at the player stats outside of the game. I've played a few games with these players, so these players that you guys recommended are the sort of players that I absolutely love and adore. They're tall, they're powerful, and they're just classy, and that's what I really, really love. The first lad we have here, I'm going to call him Mendy Nicholas. Plays for Porto. Perfect age, he's 25, so he's not too young, he's not too old. He is in the perfect, what I would call, mid-range. He looks a sensational player. I can only dream about his statistics. I think they're going to be spot on. We don't have a scout available because they're all too busy. To be quite honest, they're all chocolate teapots. They're useless. So we're going to put an inquiry in. Now what we're going to do, once we put the inquiries in, we're going to narrow it down to a head-to-head, basically. And that's where you guys are going to get to choose in the head-to-head. You will choose the defender that comes in. If he's within our price range, which at this moment in time, we just don't know. That's what we're going to put inquiries in. Now, this lad, he's French. I believe he's 6'5" or something. He's the new Tank. We all remember Tank from FIFA 13. This guy is a new freaking tank. A French beast of a tank. He looks ridiculously powerful. He plays ridiculously powerful. So, I'm putting in a little inquiry for him because he definitely catch my eye. Yes, he's 22, so he's young. So he's probably prone to make errors. But that's fine. That's not a great issue. With time will come his increase in ability, and hopefully he'll turn into a world-class player. Now, Sorensen is the last player, and as you saw, I was having issues with the spelling. It's because he's Danish, and I forgot he has the phonetic O, and it just kept bubbling in my mind. And I was like, no, it's definitely Sorensen. It's definitely Frederick Sorensen. And I thought, stuff, I'll just go to Serie A and Bologna. It'll be a lot easier. Now, this guy looks fantastic. He has everything I require in his locker. Not only does he play centre-back, he plays right-back. Not only does he have low attacking, he has high defensive with a 3-star weak foot. And he has those biblical 2-star skill. Who cares about his skill moves at the end of the day, really? He's 6'4", 21 years old. Young, I know, but if he's within the price range, the Danish lad or the French lad at this moment in time looks sensational. I really am interested in the lad who plays for Porto. I was going to call him Portuguese. He clearly isn't Portuguese. He plays in the Portuguese league. But he does look fantastic. Across the 3 defenders that you guys have recommended, honestly, they look absolutely sensational. Now, one West Ham follower has been recommending players from Bristol City in Football League 1. Now, his name's Jack Batten. I can't find him. Has he been sold? Has he gone out on loan? I can't find him within the Bristol City team. So I don't know if whoever's recommending him has got his name wrong, or didn't realise he's moved, or he hasn't been promoted from the youth team or something. But he doesn't seem to exist in the updated version of FIFA 14. So we can all thank EA for being biblical, because they're not. They're not. So moving on. We also asked about strikers. And as you know, you guys came back again with such phenomenal ideas. Now, one Welsh God player has been, I would say, not harassing me, but giving me a gentle tap on the door to say, come on, Luciano. He's a good player. I've had a look at Luciano, and yeah, I agree. I even had a little chat with Gabs. As you know, Gabs will be signing next season. I had a chat with him, and he recommended him as well. So I totally believe you. So we're going to put in a request. Now, as you can see, they've come back, Porto, for Nicholas, and 14.5 million. Wow, that is a huge chunk. But at the end of the day, he's 25 years old. He's at the perfect age. He's, 26, 27. He's going to start hitting his peak. He's going to be worth a lot more money. Now, moving on. The young French lad, 22 years old. Remember, he is 6'5" of power for 4.7. Fredrik Sorensen, they want 3.7 million for the 6'4" Danish tank. That is absolutely sensational. My gut feeling, doesn't matter which player I would like to go for. I mean, if I had a choice, I would probably say both of them, but I can't afford both of them. So what's going to happen, I'm going to put a poll up on the West Ham forum, and it's going to be down to you guys. You're either going to go French or Danish. French or Danish. It is totally your choice. It is entirely up to you. What you guys choose is what the outcome will be, and then I will, of course, make the transfer review, give you the reasons why I like him, and then we'll hopefully sign him. Fingers crossed, touch wood, because we still have to agree contract, etc, etc, etc. As you can see, Jurski Laskalainen is basically informing me that at the end of the season he could be leaving, which is fair dues. The guy is getting on in years, and it does take it out of him when you're playing professional football, especially in the Premier League. So we're going to move into some friendlies. Now with the friendlies, I'm mixing up the teams. As you know, I refuse to play friendlies. I think they're the most pointless thing in the goddamn world. And we are at home to Monaco, and they're still ringing my ears. I've got to say, it's so loud. Upton Park was sit down Monaco. Oh my day, sit down Monaco. 4-0 battered. Noble and Carroll, 2 goals apiece. It should have been about 18-0, but unfortunately it was only 4-0. No, I'm only kidding, come on. Got to have a sense of humour. So, the scouts that we have for the GTN, they obviously went to Brazil. They had a look at some Brazilian centre-backs. And the one thing I do love about the Brazilian centre-backs, they do nearly have everything I require. They have the strength. My God, some of them are just unbelievably strong. They're not the greatest with the athleticism, and they're not the greatest with the pace or the acceleration. And that's where I think it falls down. I need centre-backs who are reasonably quick. I'm not talking of a gargantuan proportion that, they're biblically quick. I'm not talking about Jermaine Defoe speed. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in powerful defenders who have that little bit of speed, and they're fractionally agile. They're a little bit more athletic than your average chocolate teapot or your average chocolate fence. They've got to have something in their locker. I mean, this guy he looks sensational. A possibility of 84 to 94 strength is amazing. The fact that he can't run faster than a tortoise is just not good enough. It really is just not good enough by any stretch of the imagination. So it's a real bit of a letdown. So as I say, you guys done a fantastic job. So that's what I was comparing you guys to. You came back with 3 amazing defenders. The GTN came back with 3 tortoises. Strong tortoises, but 3 tortoises, which is a little bit disappointing. As you can see, we have an away game to Roma. It's another friendly. Mixed the team up again, giving everybody a bit of a run out. Don't panic. I know you're going to say, Adrian's injured. Don't panic. Don't panic. He was only out for a couple of days. I basically think he chipped one of his nails. That was it. That was it. It was just an amazing save, but he chipped a nail. Job done. So, we're going into the final friendly. Now, this team take note. For any budding scouts out there, the number 10, Zaza, I would like you to do a little bit of investigating work and let me know what you think of him and if he has the quality for West Ham United. Now, we can't approach him because he's just gone to this team. I believe it's on loan, or he's just been sold for a couple of million quid. But I would like a report on him. If you guys could do that, it's the number 10. His name is Zaza. He looks a very, very, very good player and potentially could become a talisman. Who knows? Who knows? Now, I've said I'm going to give him an opportunity to play, and I am. I'm going to be a man of my word. I really did want to sell him, But I want to play the two up front, and we are short of strikers. As you know, Gabs does not come in until next season. We do have Vastey, who we can sort of use up front, but he's more predominantly on the right these days. So we do have a little bit of depth going forward for strikers, but we might have to look at a loan option, or we might have to look in a championship, someone like Jordan Rhodes. I've also had recommendations for a Chris Wood. I believe he plays for Leicester City. I think he's New Zealand. If you guys want to do a bit of a review on Chris Wood, I would welcome that as well, because that could be an option we might need to take. But bear in mind, we are closing in on the final section of the transfer window. So he could be a January approach, or he could be in tomorrow's video. Who knows, because I haven't recorded tomorrow's yet, because I need you guys to do the poll, basically. Remember, French or Danish? French or Danish? French or Danish? Yes. So we're moving on. It is the first home game of the season. We are playing Cardiff City, and I've got to say, I'm expecting such big things from Big AC this season. I'm expecting unbelievable things from him. You know, I took him to one side, I took him and got his foot sorted out, so he's perfectly, he's 100% fit. He's been firing on all cylinders during pre-season. He's been looking really, really, really good. A right handful, and we need him to take it into the Premier League season and show us what he's made of. And as you see, Jarvis down the left-hand side, plays the ball into the middle. Nice pass into Diarmi. Diarmi opens up, he takes the shot, but there's no power behind it. Something that we're not used to with Diarmi. We know he's a very powerful midfield player, but look at Kevin Nolan using his age and his ability there. Byram gets forward. A great ball into Mark Noble. Noble just couldn't get there. He did get the deflection, but unfortunately just couldn't get there to close it down. But look at the swiftness that Cardiff break with. Campbell into Kim. But look at Sam Byram get back. Look at Noble getting back. It's fantastic. Look at Noble. It's Noble. What a challenge. Nicking the ball off Whittingham at the crucial point, because that could have easily been 1-0. And Campbell breaking forward. But look at this. Winston Reid. God, I love this guy. Winston Reid. What an absolute beast. Using his power, his pace, and his general athleticism to keep the ball. Byram did play Noble into a bit of problem there, but you know, Noble's such an experienced football player. He's got a great bit of strength. He holds off the defender really well, the midfield player I should say, on the left-hand side, really well. And we come away with the ball, which was fantastic. But the one thing I'm really, really pleased with, the one thing I'm really chuffed with, look at the way we're defending. We're defending so well. We're defending in a line. We're defending with organisation. And look at Byram. That, for me, has just summed up why I've bought him. The pass, perhaps not. But the tackle, he's a young lad. He's 19 years old. He had that sort of composure at a crucial time, I think, is fantastic. The ball forward into Noble is absolutely beautiful. Unfortunately, Noble couldn't get the greatest cross back into the box, but I tell you what, that was just beautiful football. It's something I'm so chuffed to see the lads play. What I will say is, just as the final half-time whistle went there, Nolan took a huge hit, and I'm surprised the referee didn't book the Cardiff player. I think that's a little bit unfair, but hey, what can you do? And now we pick the ball up with Rat on the left-hand side, and he plays a cultured ball over the top. I've got to say, we should have done better. Have a look at that replay. Look at that ball over the top. It was sensational. Such a crafted ball. It was brilliant. Diarmi picks up the ball, plays the ball over the top into Jarvis. Jarvis gets the ball back. Unfortunately, we can't get the header, and it just wasn't going our way. It was a real frustration. But the boys never gave up. They kept trying and trying and trying. Andy Carroll down the right-hand side cuts in. Look at the run by Diarmi. He neglects the run for Diarmi and goes for the shot himself. I'm going to take my hat off and say, you know, fair dues. He's a striker. Strikers need to be selfish. On this occasion, play the ball into bloody Diarmi. I will be having words with Andy Carroll about it. Do not panic. But at the same time, he's a striker. I have to allow him to be selfish. Hopefully he'll learn from that. But big Andy Carroll, look, picks the ball up again, swivels. Oh, just not enough power behind that shot. And it's really simple save for Marshall in a Cardiff goal. But look at Reid clattering into the back of Campbell like an absolute boss. No, I do apologise. It's Odem Wingy. But Whittingham down the left-hand side. Some poor defending there from Byram this time. Ball to the back post. Great save by Adrian and Tompkins. Poor defensive clearance. And Nolan caught static on the edge of the box to allow Cardiff in after 68 minutes to score the first goal of the game. A bit of a... After the first half, it's frustrating because we defended so well. But it's just poor defending. Tompkins should be putting his boot through that. Nolan should be on his toes. And from professionals who have been in the game for a long time, especially Nolan, I really can't accept that. And it forces me to make a couple of changes. And I do take Nolan off. I don't want people to read too much into it. There's not a great issue. But I just felt it was a time to bring on Ravel Morrison and, of course, bring on Cole, because Cole can give us such an outlet. I mean, he takes the ball there beautifully, knocks it into Carroll. Carroll knocks the ball forward into Rat. I'm going to have to start calling him Roland. I think it'll be funny with Roland. And the ball to the back post is beautiful, but why did Ravel Morrison not header the ball? He tries to... I don't know what he tries to do. I know he's a young man. He's got a lot of ability. I'm not 100% sure what he's trying to do. It's not as if he's going for the volley. It's almost as if he is in two minds, whether he should volley it or header it, and he's got his body angle all wrong. It's just an awful, awful decision made by Ravel Morrison. But again, he's a young lad. I can't be overly critical. Jarvis there nearly got the shot away. We get the corner. The ball comes in, and Cardiff clear it with such ease, which is so frustrating. Absolutely frustrating. But it's one of those things. Am I gutted that we lost the first game of the Premier League season 1-0? 100% yes. I am absolutely devastated. But at the same time, there was enough for me personally to see that we're going to have a very good season. We just need a few more subtle changes. Remember, I've just come into the club, so we've got to make a few more subtle changes. I mean, you can't look for better statistics. 6 shots on target, 59% possession. We dominated the game. They were just more clinical when the time was called for. Sloppy defending cost us a sloppy goal. And there's nothing we can do about that apart from work hard on the bloody training field. Now, I'm going to lead you into something new, something brand new, but I will admit I made an error. I forgot to record the statistics, so I do apologise. But the man of the match for me personally was Matty Jarvis. He was sensational throughout the game, always working up and down that left-hand side like an absolute boss. Second man of the match for me personally was Diarmi. Sensational, and guess what? He is biblical. You thought sensational. Oh, he was biblically sensational. Absolute rock in that CDM position. And of course, in third place would be Andy Carroll. It's a tough decision between Andy Carroll and Rat at left back, but I went with Andy Carroll because he always gave me an outlet, and that's exactly what I wanted. And he did have a couple of chances, and he was selfish, and he went for them. That is also what I want from him, but hopefully next time he will be a little bit more clinical and realise that laying the ball off to one of your teammates to score is a better option. We'll have to see how it goes, but at this moment in time, I am extremely happy. And obviously in tomorrow's episode, when we do play the next game in the BPL, there will be statistics and it will look a little bit better. Hopefully you do like the thought of the man of match, because it will lead to player of the year and obviously onto a Hall of Fame, but we will discuss that at a later point. And this is where we're going to finish this episode. This is where we're going to wrap it up. No Daily Jaffa today. I didn't really feel the need for the Daily Jaffa. Hopefully you've enjoyed this episode, and remember, there will be a poll on the West Ham forum, French or Danish. French or Danish. It is your choice. You came up with 3 fantastic players. 1 is well and truly out of our price range. 2 is well and truly within our price range. So I will leave it to you guys to choose French or Danish. Until tomorrow, have a good evening. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will, of course, catch you later.